Guys, you both sort of touched on the trust element, and I think trust is obviously really important when it comes to making sure you're getting the right support and right results when you know get, especially when you're getting someone, whether it's a company or a individual, to help you with your decision making or money management. And yeah, I'm a big believer that trust alone isn't really a decision making framework. Like it's I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think my view is that I think the trust is important, but it's not the only thing. But I'm interested to hear, like, how did you guys go about building that trust in our approach to stuff to get to the point where you felt confident that it was the right approach for you guys?
Yep. So I think it was after, I mean, obviously, after the talk that you did, and then I think we did like the initial engagement as well, which kind of just helped us sort of solidify that decision. Because you kind of took us through the process, laid out all the kind of steps, and just sort of made it a lot clearer. And one of the things I sort of mentioned when we were doing that sort of initial sort of catch up was like, I'm a really sort of visual person, and when I can sort of see and understand the steps, then that's that kind of I can engage with that a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that, thinking back on I suppose that process that you went through in assessing how we tackled things, that is it fair to say that it was more so like trust in the process as opposed to the trust in me or in Emily or Siobhan or something like that?
Yeah, I would it's probably a combination of all those things, but I would definitely say it's like, the process was something that kind of just sort of gave me confidence, or gave us confidence to sort of be able to take the next steps after that.
Yeah.
I think for me, one of the biggest sort of key things was, throughout the process, we were never being pushed into any direction. It was really like Bruce and Emily were just asking questions, and just and then we would like sort of to see what our values were, where we wanted to go. And when we had questions, they would really just outline, okay, yeah, if you decide to do X, then this is how the future could look like. And if you go with Y, then the future looks a bit different. But never they never ever pushed us to say, you should go with just investing, or you should go with just property. It was really just looking at what we wanted, what our values and needs were, and then just helping us to work towards these goals, which these things sort of always help me to trust someone even more, because I'm like, okay, you're not just trying to sell me something. So yeah, and in the process also, because we did decide that we wanted to go with a certain modeling that we felt like aligned most with where we wanted to go. But then when we actually read through the details, we realized, oh, actually, this might not be exactly what we wanted. And it was absolutely no issue. Like, we could just circle back and readjust. And Emily was so great and put in another session where she ran through everything with us again. So also just seeing that, you all make sure that it's really right for us, the whole process, and what you end up choosing, which direction you want to go. And so that really was...
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it didn't feel like it was a sort of like a cookie cutter approach. It was just like, okay, this is it and off you go sort of thing. So it's like, felt like it was really being tailor made for our situation and our kind of goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the right decisions for any person or couple or whatever is it really depends on you guys. Like, we sort of know what the pathways might be, but we never really know what you're going to choose, because we don't. To do that, you need to understand the impact, you know, how it works, what it means for your other goals, all of the things that you want to do. And then you can make an assessment as to, you know, what the balance is, because there's advantages and disadvantages of all of the different options: investing versus property versus saving versus paying down debt. Like, all of those things, they've all got their place and can be good and not good. And, you know, at the right time, they all have their place. So I think that, sometimes it's, and that's back to your point about like trusting the process. And I think that you guys probably give yourself the advantage in thinking through like, what are the key things that are important for you. But it's not really, you don't, while it's important, obviously, that you trust us, it's not some super secret sauce that any one of us has got between our ears. It's like, it's a decision-making framework that we use, and then the education sits around that. So you guys are empowered to actually make those decisions. But I suppose it probably helps that there is no product solution, to your point, Christine, about like selling stuff. It's like, I think whether it's whether you would use Pivot Wealth for financial advice or any other business, I think if there is no set solution that creates a conflict, then it goes a long way to freeing up the process to deliver the outcomes that are best for the person, and for the future that you guys want to do. So I think not to say that there are good processes that do have that, and businesses that have great solutions, and I think that can have its place. But if you're just into the decision-making and planning process, I think more helpful when you don't, because it just eliminates that thought from your mind.